Yo, long time no see. Autumn here. I hear we're getting Vtubers into 40k now? Well, I guess not this kind of into 40k. We're doing something a little bit different today. Before Space Marine 2 and all that started, I decided to do something a little bit different with my design ideas. I decided it would be fun to try and do a character head swap instead of just a helmet, and try and bring some character into 40k itself. So I reached out to the VTubers I know and asked if any of them would be willing to let me turn them into a 3D model. And surprisingly, a few said yes. So the first on this list is Haruta Komachi. I was gonna say, what's your name? お名前は何ですか？
春田小町です。
ありがとう。春田小町がどんなコンテンツが作りますか？
ゲーミングストリーミング。好きなのはレトロゲーム。おいちびっこよ。最近はね、マリオをやるのが好きですね。思ったけど、どうなんでしょうか？あれでいいんでしょうか？来いよ。はい。
特別の妖精ですね。
そう。フェアリー、お米の妖精。
小町さんの髪がすごく面白いのね。その髪の上に何がいますか？
髪の毛を結んでるお団子の部分は、ご飯が入ってるお皿がそのまま頭にくっついてる。お茶碗が頭に乗っかってます。ご飯の妖精だからね。
Machi's got a lot of cool elements. From these rice bowl buns in her hair, to this transparent cloth, and this amazing green trim. It all looks really cool, and I want to do justice. So first things first, when making these sorts of 3D models, I needed a reference. Komachi gave me an amazing thing with this photo of her, but I needed a sideways view. I did my best at trying to make a 2D side art, and then going through and making most of the shape in Blender using a lot of vertices. Hours of 3D modeling later. So with all of that done, I managed to get something looking like this, and I was pretty happy with. Managed to capture all of the different points, and then it was off to the 3D printer. Like I said, this is just a head swap, so we're going to be using the seer model as a base. As when I spoke with Komachi, she said out of my entire collection, that was the one that fit her vibe the best. Fortunately, I'd miscalculated the neck size. We need to model in by hand and trim down some of the hair to get this all to work. When green stuffing the model, I also tried to include more of the elements of her dress, and sort of bring more Komachi to the model. Now it's off to painting. Emerald green from Vallejo gives the best approximation to what I think her hair color would look good at a miniature scale. I left the bottom blank because I saw in Komachi's photo that she's got a nice color change effect at the bottom of her hair, and I wanted to see if I could replicate that. Next, I moved on to contrast Telstar Blue from Citadel. I worked the blue into that area that I'd left blank before. Next, I mixed in Game Color's Royal Purple. Now it's time for some Black Templar's contrast to make those rice bowls. Next, we're going to mix in some sea grey and bright green. I'm going to use this mix for the belts and the inner linings of the jacket. Next, I'm pulling back out the emerald green and doing the boots. Next, I'm going to use a salmon rose for the base tone, the skin. I'm putting some inside the recesses. Try and get a little bit of that transparent fabric look. Continue with this look, I'm using Contrast Apothecary White. I'm also using this shade to give little bits of details here and there in the white jacket. I decided to make the sash green just to give it a little bit of pop. Back to the emerald green to start doing in these little tones. I'm grabbing a matte white to bring out some highlights. Still using the matte white. Now is one of the really scary parts, getting the eyes done. Gently, I try and get the matte white into where the eyes are. Careful not to make too much of a mess. Then I come back with the emerald green and get the irises. Getting a bit of the black just to try and do the eyebrows and highlights. Doing eyes is always scary work, but with Machi's sculpt, it's a lot larger, so it made it a lot easier. I'm really glad with how this came out. Oh, this was really nerve-wracking. Yes, okay. Now with Abaddon Black, just to trim out. Now we'll be adding a bit of Kraken skin to our emerald green to get some highlights. Here I'm just going over the raised edges and slowly building up that look. Now one last highlight, this time just Kraken green. Here we're just going over the very top for that nice anime shading look. We're also using this highlight on all the cell stones that we have around the bottom. Now we're mixing in some Ghost Blaster green, some bright green, to get our highlight color for the clothes and trim. So at this point I finally decided to paint the spear with the same sort of Aether blue look the rest of the model. Now we're going to add white flesh to our salmon rose to get a nicer highlight for the skin tone. For the shade, we're bringing in Bealtan green, getting in all the recesses of the hair and other green areas. A A little bit more apothecary white for some more shading that I've otherwise missed. The base, and we're using the fang. I'm using the airbrush color just because I have it around and it's thin, so it goes over this white coat and keeps the detail. And I'm going to highlight this with a fog gray. Fog gray highlight is just a quick and dirty dry brush, because at this point I'm very tired. One last highlight on the skin tone, this time just white flesh. And to add a bit more color and texture to the basing, I'm going to get some PVA glue and just put it on the base. Taking the PVA into the little cracks and crevices of this already sculpted base. I'm adding in some grass for a little bit of texture and contrast, and then putting a bit of light colorful flowers. I think that will suit. After giving it a quick black trim, and we have the final reveal of the model. I hope you all like this. I really hope Komachi likes this. And if you're happy with this miniature and you want to add Komachi to your forces on the tabletop, he's graciously allowed me to put this miniature up online in my Cults 3D. It will be a free download, so enjoy yourselves. If you have time, go check out her channel. She's amazing. I'll be posting a thread up on X and possibly Blue Sky. If I'm not a goofus, we'll have a link in the description. Feel free to reach out if you or a VTuber you know might be interested in making it into a 3D model and becoming a miniature. I can't guarantee I'll get to everyone, and I am only one person doing this part-time, so it's probably going to take a while. But even so, feel free to reach out. Till next time, Autumn